welcome to sunny Knockhill for rounds 9, 10, 11 of the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup Championship. Let's have a quick word with the drivers before they head out for race 1.
Panicking, to be honest. Pressing the buttons and it's not going off.
David, quick word. Congratulations on grabbing that pole position.
Thank you very much.
Top 10 are covered by less than half a second.
That's crazy.
Have you got any tactics for race 1?
It's really just get some heat in the front tyres, get it off the line and hopefully gap and let them fight behind me and try and get away.
So you've moved over from the BMWs.
Yeah.
How are the minis compared to starting on the grid? Is it a bit difficult or more easier?
I'd say the minis are actually easier to go off the line. Just the rear wheel drive and the BMWs sometimes a little bit difficult. So minis, you can hook them up, not bad. I don't find them difficult off the line. A lot closer racing because the cars are, I think they're a little bit easier to drive than BMW, which brings the pack really close together. So it's a lot about racecraft now compared to maybe driving ability, I don't know. But yeah, it's great racing, but sometimes a little bit too close, as we've experienced throughout the season so far. We've not had much luck with contact and things, and we've been upside down, and we just want to get out there today and prove our point that we're quick enough and just keep it clean and get out there and take a trophy, hopefully.
Perfect, thank you. Well, hopefully you stay roof up, and best luck for the race. Okay, thanks. And we'll just head over to Ashley. She's also moved over from the BMW Championship. And where's she hiding? Oh. Ashley, can I have a quick word?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is your first full season in the minis. How does it compare to the BMWs?
I would say it's a lot closer racing in the minis, which kind of makes it a bit more exciting. The BMWs was a great championship, and it's really sad that it's not thriving like what it used to be, but I think it was a good move coming over to the minis.
Good, and what are your tactics for this race?
Just go for it.
Perfect, well best of luck Ashley, and we'll see you after the race. Over to you Duncan for the commentary of round 9, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Fiona Wallace, down there in the holding area. Great to hear from David McNaughton. That's David we can see on the screen there in the white 28, a man who started his racing career with us in the SMRC in the Fiesta Championship and then moved into BMWs and now found a home in minis on the front of the grid with Robbie Dalgleish, Weddell and Monroe in row 2, and Hannah Chapman and Dom Wheatley make up the third row. David Slay and John Duncan with Dougie Simpson and Craig Blake. Adam Kindness is here with Simon Holderness, ahead of Ashley Morris and Craig Dillon. Ashley Morris, you're going to have to watch out for her. She's a lot faster than where her grip position is. Fee Kindness and Andrew Bell also making up the second to last row off the grid. But the minis, well, yeah, we've also got Ross Wilkinson and Gordon Long, sorry, should say. The minis never, ever cease to amaze us here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. They give us fabulous racing, it's very close, and they're always giving us big, full grids. Lots of different ideas of how to drive a mini round Knockhill. We've seen the rough, tough tumbleway of Joe Tanner and Ken Thirlwell in the previous era. Vic Covey was a good mini racer as well. But we're now into an era where it's John Duncan and the returning David Slay also. But this new man, David McNaughton, how is he going to get on? How is he going to fare here against these guys at race minis for quite a few years out here with them? We've got the likes of the fourth car there, Ian Monroe, the yellow car, who's been in this a long time. Just behind him, Hannah Chapman. And you can't take anything away from Robbie Dalgleish as well. A fast man who moved over from kart racing into the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. Basically, anybody inside that top 10, you could put 50 pence on. In fact, maybe even outside the top 10, because you never know what's going to happen in the mini races. David McNaughton says, yes, I have been upside down already this year. Doesn't put him off though, keeps coming back for more, which we like to see. Robbie Dalgleish in 91 rolls past us there. And again, the yellow car, Ian Monroe. A practice start there for Dom Wheatley. Not a practice start, maybe just warming up the tyres. We won't say practice start. John Duncan, championship leader, quite far down on the same row there as David Slay. So we'll need to keep our eyes on that and see how that unfolds through the course of this race. One thing's for sure, it's going to be a hot one. Track temperature way up in the 40 degrees, air temperature in the high 20s. Knockhill is absolutely scorching this weekend. We're baking under gorgeous conditions. And can David McNaughton convert the pole position for ALM Andy Lamont Motorsport? Can he take the victory? We wait for the last couple of cars to get into position at the very back of the grid. And then all eyes will go up towards that Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. As the lights start to come on, we have now got a full complement of lights. Who's going to get the jump down towards the first corner? We're racing here at Knockhill and McNaughton makes a good start as he heads underneath the bridge. He's already ahead of Robbie Dalgleish. And hold your breath at Duffy's Dip, everybody. Here come the minis for lap number 1 as we go through, and it looks like so far everybody behaves. John Duncan trying to make up some positions on the outside. He's got David Slay forcing him wide though, and that doesn't work in his favour. That's John Duncan way through the gravel there, unfortunately. It looked good from the start, that manoeuvre, but then David Slay saw it happening and just stopped that, counter-blocked that on the way in towards McIntyre's. Through the chicane already, through Clark Corner. The top two starting to put a little bit of a gap between themselves and Ian Munro. McNaughton and Dalgleish in towards the hairpin. Look at that formation flying in the Celtic Speed Mini Coopers. McNaughton turns in. A whole heap of Robbie Dalgleish behind him as they come up the main straight. You saw in the previous mini round, I think it was the first round, Robbie Dalgleish getting caught out, making a bit of a mistake at the hairpin and taking somebody out with him. A big slap to the side of another car, but let's hope there's going to be none of that at this meeting as they go over the crest of Duffy's Dip. Look at the commitment in these mini drivers. We can't forget the year that they stole the show at the British Touring Car Championship, the Celtic Speed Mini Coopers. They were absolutely fabulous to watch. 3 abreast over the top of Duffy's Dip. They just kept the racing coming and enthralled the crowds that day. And likewise here at Knocker Racing Circuit today, they're doing just exactly that. And a lot of gravel getting kicked up from these guys and girls as they exit that chicane and climb up the back straight towards Clark Corner. Through they go towards the hairpin. It's still McNaughton from Dalgleish. Only just though, we should mention that, because Robbie Dalgleish is looking pretty racy as we get to the hairpin now. On the outside, trying to get a bit of a better cut back through the corner or try and get some sort of drive. You've got to try and get the overlap, and it's not just about out and out pace. You've got to think about how you can make an overtake in a mini. They don't have a massive amount of power, and you have to try and set a manoeuvre up or pressurise the other driver into making a mistake. Long gone are the days of just driving into somebody and forcing them off the road. That doesn't happen anymore. As the cars come down towards Duffy's Dip, Ian Munro starting to bridge that gap between second or third and second, which he had. Robbie Dalgleish put a bit of a time difference in between them two, but as we look at it now, Munro is definitely starting to come back. Craig Blake's quite well down today, actually. Expected Craig to be a little further up than that. Oh, McNaughton already punishing those Yokohama tyres that these minis are all shod with, and you don't want to be doing that just this early in the race, because that will start to hurt these tyres in this intense heat and the intense track surface heat. The tyres won't last very long. As we head round towards Aben again, David McNaughton still leading, only just though, as he defends now into the apron. Robbie Dalgleish, he's trying to go on the outside. He wants to try and get a cut back here, get on the power earlier, and then he can try and make one manoeuvre on the main straight. David McNaughton can try and defend once, but if Robbie Dalgleish does have that manoeuvre, as David Slay pops out from the back of Chappers. Hannah Chapman coming under pressure up the main straight from David Slay. The returning David Slay in a DSR racing car. Lovely pea green car that he's brought back to field this year. Did he make that manoeuvre stick? Next car interview, yes, Slay's up the inside and past Chapman. So that won't be pleasing Hannah, but it certainly might make David Slay smile. Something you don't see very often, by the way. But when he does smile, there's a massive grin on the face of the guy behind the wheel of that number 5 car. Through the chicane he comes. Oh, running wide in front of him, that would be Dom Wheatley there. Oh, and there's a change of lead at Clark's. Robbie Dalgleish goes up the inside. Nice clean manoeuvre at Clark Corner. And if he manages to get a good exit from the corner, he'll hold that to the hairpin. Good place to do an overtake, Clark. Everybody always expects a hairpin, but he's done it at Clark now. Ian Munro comes up the inside as well as McNaughton tries to go round outside. McNaughton's going to watch now because he's leaving himself quite open on the inside to Ian Munro, attacking him up the main straight, and that's exactly what's happening as they climb the straight and go underneath that Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. Under attack is David McNaughton. By the time they get to Duffy's Dip, that could well be him down to 3rd place now. McNaughton could lose another position. We wait to pick the cameras up. Yes, he's forced wide by Ian Munro. And is he going to lose another position to Michael Weddell? Yes, he is. And Dom Wheatley's up the inside. Wheatley takes a big chunk of sausage kerb though, rather than driving into McNaughton. So David McNaughton led last time round coming through the chicane. He's now 4th as we go up towards Clark's 1 lap later on. Dalgleish made the manoeuvre, and then unfortunately for David McNaughton, he tried to counter it at the hairpin but put himself in a wrong position. And that's just mini racing for you. What goes around comes around, though. Guaranteed that. David McNaughton will not take that line down, and he will be back fighting straight away at the hairpin. Oh, whoa, big manoeuvre there from Tom Wheatley, and that looked like contact actually. Back of that car was up in the air. And now look at this on the inside. David Slay trying to get an overlap on David McNaughton. So this is all happening. This is all kicking off. John Duncan, a championship frontrunner, still quite far back down in the mid-pack as we go through Duffy's Dip. And that's a change of lead as well. What's happened to Robbie Dalgleish? Robbie Dalgleish goes from first to third. Disaster for him. And Ian Munro now leads the way as they go through the chicane. Munro from Michael Weddell, car number 7, the Minimax driver. And up the back straight. So Dalgleish has got it all to do again. And this has brought Hannah Chapman up to the back of this as well. So it's all kicking off now as Dalgleish makes his favourite manoeuvre at Clark's. Up the inside, passes Michael Weddell. Weddell's on the outside, but he's never going to make that back. He's just trying to make sure David McNaughton can't get up the inside of him. McNaughton tries to go up the inside of him and almost gets the car alongside as they go up the main straight again. Pause for breath, and they change positions 3 or 4 times in the one lap. This is fabulous mini racing. As Ashley Morris has John Duncan and Simon Holderness around her, going up the main straight now. There's your leader though, Ian Munro. Second place now for Robbie Dalgleish. So the comeback is well and truly on for Robbie Dalgleish. Can he bridge that gap as we look at Dom Wheatley and Chappers? Hannah Chapman racing for Clone Motorsport now. Adrian Haldane's team. Good guy, Eddie. Puts together a very good car and very well presented in the paddock. As your leader comes through Clark Corner. Ian Munro heads round towards the hairpin, and he'll be absolutely loving this. Apart from seeing that red car possibly getting bigger and bigger and bigger in his mirrors. As we see the rest of the field all streaming through. Hannah Chapman still got Dom Wheatley issues as they head up the main straight now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's just so many of them all together in a big group, and Craig Blake's coming into the mix now. John Duncan's managed to get past Ashley Morris, and he's got himself a bit of fresh air as well. But quite a long gap between him and the next person. Look at this, Robbie Dalgleish is just taking chunks of time out of Ian Munro in the yellow car. As David Slay up the inside. David Slay with a big manoeuvre. I'm going to call that a lunge, David, because I think you've lost that back to David McNaughton. Yes, you have. Well, the manoeuvre was maybe on there, but Slay just carrying far too much speed. Braked a little bit too late. Got to the apex, but then washed out after that. And McNaughton saw that coming and was able to counter right on the exit of the corner and drive back underneath him before Butchers. Good move, David McNaughton. Good attempt, David Slay. As John Duncan goes through our shot there. A little glimpse of Adam Kindness in 155. There's Fee Kindness in 50 as well. And change of lead at the hairpin. Through into the lead goes Robbie Dalgleish as a bit of a side tap from Michael Weddell on Ian Munro. And David McNaughton's now alongside Weddell. Could this put McNaughton back into second place by the time he gets to Duffy's Dip? Because your leader is definitely going to be Robbie Dalgleish. There's no two ways about that. As that was a good manoeuvre at the hairpin from Robbie Dalgleish. Dive up the inside. And he's come from quite a long way back as well to make that gap up. Yes, McNaughton does get through to second place. Ahead of Ian Munro. Munro comes back up the inside. McNaughton can see that coming. He was a little bit hesitant there, David McNaughton, and I don't blame him because he saw that happening and he just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to get collected by that yellow number 23 car that Ian Munro's campaigned for so many years now. As they go in towards Clark's, the lap's well and truly ticking down now and head towards hairpin. Everybody behaving themselves. Craig Blake still unfortunately 95 in that no man's land, and John Duncan coming under increasing pressure now, and John just not firing on all 4 cylinders, it would seem today. Minimax guys will be scratching their heads over that one. Let's look at this. Oh, there's contact coming out the hairpin as they come up to the checker flag. Dalgleish wins, McNaughton second, Munro third. Weddell just gets home ahead of Chapman and Slay, but that was all kicking off right at the end of Dom Wheatley, Craig Blake, John Duncan and Dougie Simpson round out the rest of the runners and riders. The top 10 there. Good showing from Dougie Simpson, he'll be happy with that one. Ash Morris comes home in 11th, who we heard from before the race. Let's hand down to Fiona now. Hopefully she's got some sun cream, a brolly and a bottle of water.
Congratulations, Robbie. First win of the 2018 season. How was that race for you?
Yeah, it was a good race. Not a bad start, just staying second. Me and David, my plan was to just push him away, we'll both disappear, but it never really went that way. So I had to make an early move past him and then got passed by Ian. So it was fighting all the way, and in the last lap just kind of got a wee gap, so it was quite nice to have a nice wee drive on for one lap. But no, car feels really good. Pace is there, so we'll just see how we get on for the rest of the day.
And what are the conditions like out there? It's quite hot today. Did you feel your tyres go off at all?
Tyres feel okay, but they're only done a qualifying session and one race. I think race 3 will be pretty tough on them. You can feel it screeching around all the corners already. Cars are, I mean, when I was behind David, I was making sure I wasn't following him. You know, I need to get some air into the front of the car. We had that engine overheat a wee bit yesterday as soon as I followed someone, so got the heating on in the car and full blast as well, which doesn't help. But no, it's good.
Perfect. Well, best of luck for the next race. Hopefully we'll see you on the podium again.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well done, Ian. P3, but should have been P1. What happened there?
Yeah, I thought I was away and I thought I might have won it. But I've had problems in qualifying with gearbox. It seems to heat up, and then partway through the race I kind of get in the gears at hairpin. So I was stirring for gears after about halfway through, so it wasn't long until they caught us up again, and wasn't much I could do about it, because every time I came out in the hairpin I knew I was just going to be sitting there. So to be honest, I'm quite happy with how once that happened.
So have you got some work to do between now and race 2?
I think we're just going to bleed it and hope it lasts for 3/4 of the race again, because otherwise we've got to change engine, and it's too hot to change engines today.
Yeah, it's too hot for me doing that. Well, best of luck for race 2, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium again. Cheers. Thank you. So just before the minis head out for race 2, I'm going to grab a quick word with Hannah Chapman. She's been racing for a few years in Scotland, doing quite well for herself. I think she's starting 5th for this race. Can I just jump in? Hi Hannah. Hi. Hello. So you're doing quite well this year, although yesterday you had a bit of engine issues. What happened there?
Yeah, I've had a bit of an up and down year. When it's going good, it's going great, but I've just been plagued with a bit of bad luck as well. The engine just finally packed in. It's been going good for a while, so it wasn't a huge surprise that it kind of gave up on us. So got a new engine in, it seems to be doing the job so far.
I've not seen you on the podium for a while. Do you think you can get up there today?
I'm really hoping I can get on the overall podium. It's nice to be there as a girl, but I'd like to be there overall as well. So hopefully today's my day, but we'll see.
And there's a lot of young girls that are wanting to get into racing. What's the best advice you'd give them?
Just don't think about the fact that you're a girl. Like, don't let being a girl hold you back.
Perfect, good advice that. Okay, thanks Hannah. So I'll hand over to you now, Duncan, for round 10 of the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup Championship in association with Celtic Speed.
Thank you very much, Fiona Wallace, a former racer in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. We should say that. Fiona was a very quick young lady, taking a break from racing now and standing in front of the camera, behind the camera I should say, and doing a cracking job down there. It's great to have somebody who's actually raced down there. They know how the drivers are feeling, know how to approach the drivers, and the drivers do like seeing a usual friendly face coming towards them, and that's one thing Fiona is. Let's hope she's got her sun cream on, no? Don't want her burning down there. Out of the holding area come the minis. As we see once again, we can spot a cloud in the background there. That's something we haven't had very much of today.
Number 5,
and let's see how the drivers get on here, the guys and girls, for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. This is a very well supported championship. It has some fabulous drivers all down the field, all the way through. We have got like Robbie Dalglish there at the very front, number 91, come from karting. David McNaughton, who started in XR2s, went to BMWs, then come to Minis. And they're returning David Slay as well, former series champion. We need to remember that Aidan Moffat raced in this. We have seen Aidan go on towards great things in the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. And those guys will be up here in August, so why not get your tickets booked to come and see the Dunlop MSA British Touring Cars. Get onto the Knock website and come and see if we get any of our Scottish motor racing guys. I wonder if they could get a wild card in one of the series that comes up towards Knockhill for the touring car package. We've seen Carol Brown racing in Porsches over the year. Actually met Carol earlier on. It was great to see her at the paddock here. I wonder if that was her look back for a little look to see if there's anything up for hire or any drives available. It would be good to see Carol back in the paddock racing. Anyway, let's focus and concentrate on what we have on track just now as the minis come in for their warm-up lap, and they will get onto the grid. The Track Scotland number 55 car there. Adam and Fiona Kindness both out here this weekend in the cars. We wait for the lights to come on the bridge. The 55 car was Fiona, the 155 car will be Adam, but on pole position we have Robbie Dalglish. Let's see if we get some of this one. 5-second board goes out. Hold your breath down at Duffus Dip, because we're about to go racing here at Knockhill under beautiful blue skies, a full complement of lights, and away we go. Everybody gets away for a good start. Thankfully no shenanigans and no stalling. We do sometimes get shenanigans on the line with the minis, but these guys and girls all accelerate down. Oh dear, what have I said? Ian Monroe gets a big side swipe on the way down towards the first corner, and let's hope that's not damaged the car too much as he comes down through the left-hander. I'm keeping my eyes on that yellow car while Robbie Dalglish leads the way with a nice bit of a chunky lead, actually, got to say that. But Monroe took quite a heavy hit in the side there. Problem with getting your front wheel hit, it can knock your toe out, but it can also weaken later on the CV and the drive shaft, and who knows what could go wrong for Ian Monroe. Let's hope that car holds together, because it just looked like 3 or 4 into 1 wasn't going to work there. Through the corner goes Robbie Dalglish, and that's Clark corner, not just any corner. Nice decent lead over Andy Lamond, Motorsport run David McNaughton, as we see David Slay in the DSR car just behind him. And then, yeah, we'll just wait till everybody gets through the hairpin and kind of hope they get through the hairpin, because there's a few big manoeuvres up the inside there, a little bit of contact. Craig Blake gets pushed wide, and was that Ashley Morris? It was, wow, Ashley Morris with a big manoeuvre in towards the hairpin there. And, well, I don't think Craig would be expecting that one, but he, yeah, look, Ian Monroe way down on power up the main straight there. I can only imagine as, yeah, that's completely way down on power. That's the number 50 car there, that's Andy Bell. But Ian Monroe must have one of those wheels pointing in a direction where it's not meant to be going. The front left wheel, I would imagine, would be pretty severely bent in after that first run down towards Duffus in the first lap as the leaders all come through chicane. John Duncan, championship leader, quite far down just now. John fully aware of what's going on here though, and playing the long game in the championship as we come up the main straight, up the back straight, sorry. David Slay now started to catch up with David McNaughton, and Robbie Dalglish looking pretty handy at the front here. And Simon Holderness is now all over the back of Ashley Morris, and we've seen what Ashley can do at the hairpin. We know she's not shy. And we come here, Michael Weddle behind David Slay just now, and being nice and smooth in there. Then Hannah Chapman, Chappers, we had a word with her at the start to get a new engine in that car. The Clone Motorsport guys, Edie Haldane, doing a great job putting another engine in that, but it's always a worry. You put another engine in, the spare engine, is the spare engine as good as the main engine? It's all about budget at the end of the day, and you would love to have two engines that are absolutely identical in performance and power, but when you're a club racer, usually the second one just gets found and it's in the truck in case it's needed. Money does get spent on other things that are needed on the cars. David Slay comes through, the DSR run car. Interesting choice of colour for David this year. I think I like it, but we'll see how it goes on. It's probably a grower as they make their way through Clark Corner. Dalglish, McNaughton, Slay, Weddle, Chapman, Duncan, all on the absolute edge of adhesion as they go through there. Then it was Dougie Simpson we saw going through. Dougie Simpson, oh, and that looked like Ross Wilkinson wasn't just wide, it looked like he was very wide going through there, bouncing along the edge of the gravel trap. And let's hope he managed to get that one back onto the track and continue, because that's a big battle he was in. I'm surprised though, at this point, Michael Weddle hasn't tried some sort of manoeuvre as Andy Bell does retire into the pit lane. I expected as the camera flashed away there for that to be Ian Monroe, to tell you the truth. Still no sign of Ian Monroe retiring, and no sign of him at the back of the field, so great shame for Ian, a man who's been almost in with a chance of winning the championship. But I was going to say that Michael Weddle hasn't made any manoeuvres yet, and I find that quite strange. I'm pretty sure that will change pretty soon. Look at that, almost on cue. He's up the inside of David Slay at Clark's. I think he was listening to the commentary there as he tries to make a manoeuvre, and let's see what happens by the time they get to the hairpin. Has the manoeuvre stuck, or is he still fighting it out? Ian Monroe goes through there, just way down the position, so side by side into the hairpin. Monroe was alongside Gordon Long as they were coming through Clark, so just in front of him, I should say, as Weddle makes a manoeuvre, stick, on David Slay. David Slay had absolutely nothing for him. This was 1, 2, 3, Dalgleish, McNaughton, Weddle, Slade out to fourth, and he's now got Chappers all over the back of him, up the main straight in the Ram Tubulars car. By the time they get to Duffus Dip, hopefully it'll have all sorted itself out with David Slay. Well, it was a clean manoeuvre from Michael Weddle as we watched him coming through Duffus and now Les's in towards McIntyre's they go. And Dom Wheatley tries to go up the inside of Dougie Simpson, has a little look, feints a look, but decides better off it there. Dom Wheatley a little bit further down than we would expect, maybe just struggling with a little bit with car setup today, to tell you the truth, as all these drivers will be. They have data sheets for every time they drive the car, one would imagine, but I bet they don't have data sheets what give you a track temperature. They've probably never driven on 40+ degrees of track temperature at Knockhill before. So John Duncan's caught up to the back of Hannah Chapman now, the man who is very handily leading the championship at this point in the year. And John Duncan really, he just wants to stay out of trouble as, oh, Ian Munro goes through. It's just a sorry sight seeing Ian Munro that far down the field into the hairpin. John Duncan has a little swerve out from the back of Hannah Chapman. He boots it up the inside. It's a clean manoeuvre. Chappers saw that coming, decided she didn't want to close the door completely and have contact. Good bit of driving by both drivers there. Chappers now on the outside up the main straight. Can she get back towards the inside of Duffus as the leaders come through? And David McNaughton now is starting to home in on Robbie Dalgleish, as through go first and second, third and fourth, and Chapman all over the back of John Duncan. It's not to be. It was a good effort from Hannah up the main straight, but she saw John coming at the hairpin, so rather than have contact, doesn't do anybody favours that, decided just to leave enough room for John Duncan to go through. John kind of fainted early on when the cars were still accelerating, then in the braking zone, just released a little bit of pressure and parked it up the inside. A classic kind of block pass at the hairpin, putting Hannah on the outside. As we look back towards Apex of Clarks, there goes Ashley and Craig Blake still well and truly together after Craig Blake was kind of Morrised at the hairpin earlier on. As we come back towards Apen, Dougie Simpson now is pulled away from Dom Wheatley and he's now onto the back of Hannah Chapman. A great showing from Dougie Simpson here as we come up the main straight. Once again, ticking off a lap side by side, John Duncan and Hannah Chapman over the crest of the hill. John Duncan will take that position up, and here comes a kindness battle. Adam and Fiona with Simon Holderness going over the crest line. Ross Wilkinson, who we saw in the gravel. Look at the front wheel of Eamon Rowe's car. It just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look like it's pointing in the correct direction. As car number 28, David McNaughton, has put together a fantastic run of laps, actually. That not being one of them. Did he survive that moment? We hold our breath. There's no yellow flags. That was a big fat nearly for David McNaughton as he goes through the chicane there. That looked like the car was twisting itself into some sort of shape that you really don't want to have. And that'll be so for David in the car as well. You'll feel like your back, your bum, your neck, and yeah, just calm down just a little bit. He's actually faster at this point in the race than Robbie Dalgleish, as Craig Blake has got past Ashley Morris and then decides to put the car wide in the gravel into the Clarks. Will that hurt his run towards the hairpin? We'll have to see. As David Slay now all over the back of Michael Weddle. Can he make that work? He tries to go around the outside. He tries to cut back on the inside now. So that's what the long game was about there. He went wide on the way and he's cut back on the inside. They're side by side up the main straight. That looks like a very clinical, clean manoeuvre by David Slay as they go over the crest of the hill and head down towards Duffus Dip. Side by side also was Blake and Morris. We want to pan away from that and try and get the guys coming in here. Yes, it's a good manoeuvre. It's a good manoeuvre. Weddle has to take the escape road going down through McIntyre's there and over the grass. He doesn't gain a position or an advantage. If anything, he loses a little bit more. But David Slay started that manoeuvre going in towards the hairpin and finishes it at Duffus Dip. Cracking bit of driving from the former champion in the number 5 car. Michael Weddle, well, rather than trying go down Duffus Dip there and go across to the apex of Les's and collect a car. That's why that escape road's there. This clerk of the course and the stewards do frown upon you using it, but if it's going to not have an accident, I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea, and that's why it's there. It used to just be grass, so you used to come down there completely out of control, barrel across the apex, and 9 times out of 10 you would collect the next car that was coming through the left-hander. And finally, the discomfort of this race is over for Ian Munro as he comes into the pit lane. What a horrible way to end the race. That would be the longest set of laps he's ever done around Knockhill. And basically he was just burning out the tyre towards the end of it. David Slay's wide at the hairpin though. After all that work, where are you going, David? He manages to get back on John Duncan side by side with Michael Weddle now. And also up the inside, Dougie Simpson. So formation flying behind the number 5 car. David Slate almost threw all of his hard work away there. And still side by side is Morris and Blake. These two very much together. As look at this, almost 3 wide, and John Duncan has to take the escape road this time. Again, not making a position up. Weddle sideways. Dougie Simpson's on the grass. Almost into the back of Simpson. Goes Wheatley. Chappers is on the outside of this. This is proper mini stuff. Hannah tries to go around the outside, going through Butchers. Not to be. David Slay will be giggling in his mirrors watching all that unfold behind him, as will John Duncan, because when people are battling like that, it really gives you a great advantage at the front. And speaking of at the front, that was the first 2 going through there. Yes, they are still in the race, Robbie Dalglish and David McNaughton, but they're driving very sensibly. Unlike the lot behind them, I'm not saying they're driving crazily, but it's good to watch. It's proper Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup battles as they come into the hairpin. David Slay's been released from that mayhem, and it's kind of all exploded with all the happenings that happened at McIntyre's just a lap ago. Through they come Simpson ahead of Chappers, who's trailing a bit of body work, but the checker flag goes out for Robbie Dalglish and David McNaughton. David Slay is going to be on the podium with John Duncan coming on 4th, 5th for Michael Weddle, 6th for Simpson, Chapman 7th, and 8th for Dom Wheatley. With all sorts of things happening there, so much so we missed the last lap board going out, and everybody else comes across the line. So let's hand down to Fiona, who will be in the pit lane, and we'll give you a little bit more of the results. So cracking stuff from the minis as ever. Great stuff here at Knockhill in some sweltering heat. The last car comes through there. That was Gordon Long. And into the pit lane comes a very, very happy and sweaty Robbie Dalglish. These 2 guys never put a foot wrong. David Slay had to work hard for that podium position. And let's hand over to Fiona, and she can give us a rundown on what happened.
Well done, Robbie. 2 out of 2, and you've just drawn P7 for race 3. Do you think you can make it another win from there?
Well, I've never had more than 1 race win on the same weekend, so 2's nice, but there's not many folk that have done all 3, so I've made it a wee bit harder for myself pulling 7, but the car's mega quick, and we've got the setup basically bang on. One thing to change for this last race, and then see how we go. I usually actually race better from the middle of the grid. I don't, ever since I started in karting, I've never liked being front row, first or second. I always preferred being starting at the back and coming through, so it's going to be carnage probably in race 3, but we'll try our best to stay away from it and see how it goes.
Well, it's working well for you so far, starting P1 at the front, so yeah, you never know what's going to happen in the next one, but yeah, best of luck for race 3 of the day, and hopefully we'll see you back on the podium.
Thanks. I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Evolution BPS, otherwise I wouldn't be racing this weekend.
Good luck. Thank you. Well done, David, finishing P3 there. You dropped back a little bit, but you managed to claw your way back up the grid.
I did. I got a great start there from the first part of the race, and I was like just delighted I was in the 3rd place from there. Managed to maintain it for a while. Was close to the first 2 there, but I just saw Michael come in the mirrors and he just started to put me off a wee bit. I made a mistake at Clarkson, that just sent me back into him, and pretty much with a 4-lap race after that between each other, which was great. I really enjoyed it, and it was tough, but really enjoyable.
You've taken some time out of the championship recently, but you're back. You're happy you're back in the championship?
Well, it wasn't really exactly planned, but yeah, I've been away for 3 years, so find it pretty hard actually just getting back on and realising how far you've got to push here, just how much of a knife edge it is. I think I've got there now after kicking off a bit of the cobwebs, and hopefully I'm getting better each meeting. We're lying 2nd in the championship at the moment, so we did try and reduce that gap between myself and John at the moment.
It's not bad for an old dog.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not getting any younger, that's definitely for sure. But can I just quickly say as well, if you're about to close me off here, but thanks very much to all my sponsors, the team at DSR and Scotfest as well, which are running an event next weekend at Ingliston. Hope they do really well with it, and thanks very much for their backing.
Well, best of luck for race 3, starting mid-pack. Let's see what you can do.
Oh God, I always hate this one, it's nervous. But thanks very much.
You're welcome. And we'll just hand back over to you, Duncan, for race 3 of the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup at Knockhill.
Thank you very much, Fiona. Let's get the final for the minis underway now, right at the end of the day. A long day racing for SMRC here, but there's no better way of finishing the day off than the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup at Knockhill. The reverse grid where the winner of the second race draws a ball out of the hat, and he decides, or he or she decides, and determines where the cars split on the grid. Robbie Dalglish, that red car there, number 91, number 7, that put Hannah Chapman on pole position. What can Chappers do? We know she's had a bit of a trial and tribulations today. The engine has been out, the car has been swapped by the guys at Clone Motorsport. But can she repay them with a victory in the final? It's going to be very hard. She's going to be very hard pushed, that's for sure. Because all the big guns, well, Hannah being a big gun, they're all right beside her. Track temperature still way up in the 30s. Dry, as you can see, as we follow the safety car around the BMW supplied by John Clark. So Hannah Chapman and Dougie Simpson in the front of the grid, with Michael Weddle and John Duncan championship leader. Then you have David Slay and also David McNaughton. Then the man of the meeting so far, Robbie Dalglish in the number 91 car, the red car. Can he make it 3 out of 3? Can he do what we call a Kyle Reid? We shall find out in the next couple of minutes as these guys make their way around for their warm-up lap. Cars coming through the hairpin here. It's been a good day's racing for the SMRC, as a few of them do a practice start there. Now, race direction might frown upon that, to be honest. Don't know what that's like. I don't think that's really allowed. Anyway, it's done now as the guys make their way up towards their grid slots. Marshals either side of the start-finish hill there. Man at the top with the flag as the rest of the people come round the hairpin. This is going to be a cracker, absolutely sure of that. John Duncan there, car number 24. Well, he just needs to play it cool here. He needs to not be silly, and it's all about the long game. He's told us that quite a few times. Can he make the long game count though? Because the long game is a championship. It's not just about race wins. I mean, that is very important. Yes, it's great to win races, but it's all about the championship come the end of the year. Adam and Fiona Kindness there in the pink and the blue car. Adam in the pink car, Fiona in the blue car. Maybe we should swap that round, but let's see how we get on. The 5-second board goes out. We're about to go racing here at Knockhill for the final mini race of the day. Full complement of lights, and away we go down towards Duffy's Dip. Everybody makes a good clean start. Nobody wheel spinning this time, as we saw in race number 2, and down towards Duffy's Dip. Look at the lead that Hannah Chapman's got straight away. No contact on the way down as well, which is quite good. They keep it all clean. Everybody stays on track, almost apart from Kindness and Holderness there. Looks like they were both taking the escape road down Duffy's Dip. Yes, and oh, Adam Kindness still not finished that accident. Goes through the gravel trap at the exit of turn 3 McIntyre's and rejoins at Butcher's. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He rejoins just before the chicane. Long bit of gravel trapping as we go on board with Dom Wheatley. Dom Wheatley up the inside of David McNaughton. It's a good manoeuvre. Dom Wheatley, a little bit of curb on the inside. Great stuff from Dom Wheatley. Nice and calculated, clean. And nothing wrong with that as they come through and head towards hairpin. Hannah Chapman on the inside. John Duncan trying to go around the outside of Dougie Simpson. Not to be. Dougie Simpson manages to hold it off. John Duncan swings back to the inside now, and it's side by side up the hill. They're almost 3 abreast. Chappers in the middle. Has that engine swap, has that engine got enough power in it to keep her in the loop as they come up over the crest of the hill, as Adam Kindness, the very last car, goes through and knows the answer. Simpson goes to the front. Duncan goes into second place. Chapman goes down to third place, and Michael Weddle all over the back of Hannah Chapman now, with David Slay and Don Wheatley slugging out. There's Ashley Morris also in the 77 car with a fabulous start here, just off the back of David McNaughton. David McNaughton's not had the greatest start, I've got to say. There's somebody running wide right in front of Robbie Dalglish, the form man today. As everybody comes through Clark Corners, the minis in flying formation. Dalglish did sneak past there, and somebody else runs wide into the gravel going towards that hairpin. Simpson from Duncan, from Chapman, from Weddle. Oh, Weddle's got an incoming David Slay there, but Slay doesn't do anything daft. And underneath, now, was that David McNaughton going underneath Ashley Morris, or was that Ashley Morris trying to go round David McNaughton? Because on the main straight, Morris goes past David McNaughton. So the Andy Lamb Motorsport car getting passed on the main straight by young Ashley from Thurso. Can she hold that at a Duffus? No, she can't. McNaughton's braving the brakes, and Dalglish also slithers past up the inside. Now Chapman defends from Weddle, and that leaves Weddle a little bit lame on the inside there, as David Slay had a look at the inside, but not to be. Over the crest of the chicane they go to click off another lap. Drivers not been as nice to their cars at this point of the day as we saw in the second race. Track temperature still up in the high 30s here at Knockhill Racing Circuit, even though we're almost at the end of the day. This is the last race. just past 5 o'clock, and the track has been absolutely baked in sunshine, glorious sunshine all day here at Knockhill. Kindness goes through, and still jumping into the gravel is Adam. Dalgleish has got himself past David McNaughton as we come into the hairpin. Very tight there. Michael Weddle has Dom Wheatley on the outside. Dom Wheatley's getting shown the edge of the track, just about in the gravel, swings back on. Little look in the mirrors, left, right, grabs the gear up the main straight, looks back to the right hand side, fixes the mirror, car passes on the left hand side, that's Robbie Dalgleish, fixes the mirror on the driver's side again, pushes another gear on the main straight, does he? Underneath the bridge, and somebody, David McNaughton, passes on the inside. What does Wheatley do? Wheatley goes back to the inside. Oh, a bit of oversteer, correcting as they go in towards the corner from Dom Wheatley there, cracking bit of onboard. Fusion contact of McIntyre's. David Slay, bang, straight in the back of Michael Weddle. Weddle's car manages to carry on from that. David Slay, momentary lapse of judgment there. Michael Weddle tries to get away from David Slay, but David Slay straight into the back of the number 7 car. Michael Weddle there. From our camera view, obviously a mistimed, misjudged overtaking manoeuvre, and let's hope that's not damaged both cars. That's going to affect them through the course of this race, because both those guys, big hitters in the race, and we want to have them at the front as we come round to the hairpin. Weddle's car still going okay, as is Slay's car, and if anything, is behind David Slay where the action's now happening. Look at this, flying formation to the hairpin for the Celtic Speed Mini Coopers. 2x2 there, Craig Blake involved in that, as they go up the main straight to click off another lap. Craig Blake maybe not too happy with how it's gone today. Craig Dillon also in that. Car number 16 alongside Simon Holderness. And the comeback drive for Adam Kindness continues. Debris flag at the top of Duffus, probably for several small pieces of Weddle strewn across the track from the incoming Slay missile there. There it is, there all over the track. Oh, more contact. This time it's Ashley Morris. She fancies a little bit at the back of Dom Wheatley. Wheatley gets tagged there, manages to hold onto that. But there's a big train of cars behind Dom Wheatley as he goes through the chicane. Wheatley, Morris, Dillon, Blake, Holderness, Kindness. It's pretty busy as they go up the back straight towards Clark, and I think Ross Wilkinson also involved in that battle. Through Clark Corner they come, and the leader's already at the hairpin now. We go once again on board with Dom Wheatley. He turns in. Oh, up the inside. Wow, take some of that, Dom Wheatley. That was Ashley Morris, and that was pretty forceful, yet okay by many standards, as we look in the commentary box for a little bit of help there. Not to be Ashley Morris taking no prisoners from Dom Wheatley. Straight past him, maybe using a little bit the side of Wheatley at the hairpin. But Dom's certainly getting no love from Ashley as they go through. Now John Duncan runs wide at the exit of the chicane. So tyres probably past their best now, and this is where the cars start to handle like a barn door as they make their way through Clark Corner. Hannah Chapman blasts through. Michael Weddle still got David Slay behind them, but thankfully Weddle's car and Slay's car both okay. You can see a lot of damage in the front left of Ashley Morris's car. That's probably where she had a bit of a Dom Wheatley fetish at the hairpin a lap ago. No debris on the track this time through, but still Dougie Simpson at the front in car number 81, a man who's graduated from the BMW Compact Cup along with David McNaughton, and really finding his feet and his home here in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup Challenge as they make their way through the hairpin. Simpson has a chance of a win here. The way he's driving, looking at his lap times right now. Dougie Simpson, fastest lap of 62.8. John Duncan, 62.9, and they've done that on the same lap of the race. So, close at the front, 10th of a second in it, but a 10th of a second swaying the way of Simpson. As they go over the crest of the chicane one more time, up that back straight. Hannah Chapman in a pretty safe and secure 3rd place. Justifying the engine swap by the guys at Clone Motorsport. Adrian Haldane working as hard as they possibly can there. And the guys who also work on the other cars will be just wondering, have the tweaks they made been the right thing? Now Robbie Dalgleish is right underneath the back boot lid of David Slay as they head towards the hairpin. We saw the red car glued to the back of the green car. Next into view after Chapman. There we go. No, there we go now. Look at that, Dalgleish right on point. And has he got anything in the tank for David Slay? Has David Slay got enough to defend from him? What that's going to do is it's going to take a little bit of pressure as we hold our breath for a minute. As Craig Blake goes through the hairpin side by side with Morris, and we jump back on board with Dom Wheatley up the main straight. Dom Wheatley looking calm behind the wheel here. He's seeing cars in front of him. He's trying to go and try and capitalise and follow Blake through as he grabs another gear. brakes, downshift, turns it in. Morris turns in, a little bit of corrective oversteering away. He's going to go round the outside of Morris. Oh, good grief! Off at the bottom of Duffus, Tom Wheatley. So lucky with that one. That was almost a massive, massive accident. He lands back on the track at the exit of McIntyre's turn 3, and Dom Wheatley, you are the luckiest man in Knockhill Racing Circuit, because that was almost goodnight Vienna to that Mini, and probably the rest of your season. If that had pitched over there, that would have been a massive accident. But thankfully Dom Wheatley gets away with that one with just a little bit of a big fat nearly, maybe a brown trouser moment. But wow, climbs the side of Ashley Morris going through the left-hander, and that looked absolutely terrifying from the onboard camera there. Made me grab the desk here in the commentary box. But let's calm down from that one. And already back at the hairpin, we pick up with Michael Weddell coming through with David Slate, Robbie Dalglish and Andy Lamond. Motorsport car, Dave McNaughton. I keep wanting to say that's Andy Lamond in that car, but he would never be that fast in the Mini. David McNaughton definitely doing the best job in that car, as Andy Bell runs a bit wide in front of Adam Kindness there. Let's just compose ourselves after that moment from Dom Wheatley. That was absolutely terrifying. You can see the marks on the left-hander where Wheatley went off. Absolutely flat through there in a Mini. No hint of a lift whatsoever. And Wheatley was trying to go down the outside, but it just wasn't on. He just took a little bit too much of too tightness towards Ashley and managed to catch the back of her. But as we catch back up with the leaders coming through Clark Corner now, heading towards the hairpin, and there's Michael Weddell. Oh, Dalglish slides past David Slate. Clark. Good move from Robbie Dalglish. He's made that one stick. As we head towards the hairpin, we see all the cars coming through. There's Adam Kindness at the back after his grass tracky gravelly moment at McIntyre's. So let's have a look as the cars come through the hairpin. It's been a faultless drive for this man in car number 81. Dougie Simpson accelerates out, graduate from the BMW Compact Cup, and takes his first race win in the Minis. Fabulous stuff ahead of John Duncan and Hannah Chapman. In 4th place, we're going to get Michael Weddell. 5th place will be Robbie Dalglish, just ahead of David Slade, David McNaughton. Ashley Morris, fabulous in 8th place there. Really great result for her. Dom Wheatley manages to recover and come home in 14th place. But he will have a very good story to tell everybody on the drive home tonight and in the bar, side by side with Adam Kindness as he goes over the crest of the hill there. Fabulous, fabulous stuff from Wheatley to come back after that. And we see the drivers going onto the podium. In 3rd place, well, Hannah Chapman takes the Ladies' Cup. In 3rd place, we see Hannah Chapman and the ladies. John Duncan and Dougie Simpson will take that, and the newcomers will be Michael Weddell. So let's hand down to Fiona. Fiona, are you down there? Are you in the Park Fermi? For a bit of a chat with some of the drivers.
Dougie, it's your first podium and first win. How was that race for you?
Oh, quite good. I did not expect that at all. I was off second, but obviously I got the run on the first lap and just, yeah, kept it from there. Yeah.
You just seemed to pull away from everyone.
Well, it helped, and John made a wee mistake going through chicane, but yeah, no, I would like to say that I pulled away, so yeah, good.
And did you feel your tyres going off towards the end of the heat, or were you managing them okay?
Pretty. I didn't do a lot of weaving on the way because it was hot anyway, so I didn't see any point in even, any weaving. Yeah.
A few beers tonight to celebrate?
Hope so. yeah.
Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you in August. Okay, thank you. John Duncan, good to see you back on the podium, and you're still in the hunt for that championship win.
Yeah, good day. A tough start today. I think I dropped back to 14th or 15th after going into gravel in race 1. So to come back, we stand on the podium at the end of the day is a good day's work. So I think I've stretched the championship lead. I'm not sure, but happy with that.
Good. And did you manage to manage your tyres?
Yeah, we actually didn't know if they'd last the full 3 races, but the new tyres are a bit more durable, and it doesn't really drop off the way the old tyre used to, even with the temperature. So that's a bonus.
Are you looking forward to the race meeting in August?
I can't wait. I mean, that's us past the halfway point now, so I'll have to go home and do some maths on the championship and start thinking about how we get that one.
Team tactics, possibly?
I've not asked him yet. I hope so. I hope he will, yeah.
Just ask him nicely. Give him a few beers.
I will do.
Congratulations. We'll see you in August.
Thanks.
P3 Hannah, well done.
I'm happy with that. It's good to be back on the podium. That's what I said to you earlier. I just really wanted to be back on the podium. I'm gutted I didn't finish first because I started pole, but I made a mistake at the hairpin and I'd lost all my speed up the straight, so I can't really complain too much because I managed to, after my mistake, I'm just glad to still have survived in third.
And you managed to avoid all the carnage.
I did. I was actually quite thankful of a really quiet, lonely race. So yeah, it was good. Just huge thanks to my sponsors, Ram, Nexus 24. They're all here today watching, and I couldn't do it without them. So glad to have got a good result for them.
Well, congratulations again. We look forward to seeing you in August.
Thank you. See you soon.
And that concludes the racing here today for the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. We'll see you again in August.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and leave a comment below and subscribe to SMRC for more action-packed racing here at Knockhill. Yay!